Stan! Here we are, all West German-ed up, because it's a European clone video. So, last week before, Military Collectibles, my old mate CJ did a video on helmets, and he did say in there that if anyone's got a collection of Euro clones, it might not be a bad idea if you could do a video on it. Excuse me. I actually, before we go any further, Stanley Junction, that's what it's called now. No light refreshments yet. I actually went to my old rugby club the other night to watch a game. First time in 5 years and 10 months that I've been there. And it was nice to see some of my old mates, very enjoyable it was too. One of them said, "Hey, I'm subscribed to your channel actually." I said, "Alright." He said, "I don't like it when you do the whinging bit. I think it means the ordinary life videos. I just like militaria. So, mate from work, I will forward you this video. You want militaria? I'm your man." Right, so this is, again, with all things, you start looking into it, it gets more complicated, and this is probably a video aimed at the novice collector, or maybe someone who's buying a helmet for somebody, but it's about the American M1 helmet, and it is mainly, I would say, your sort of eBay purchases, just certain things I've seen online. I don't have all the Euro clones. I don't have a World War II American M1 helmet, so we're off to a bad start straight away, aren't we? And I'm not an expert on anything, and I'm certainly not an expert on M1s. I do have one though, an American one, down at Parish, 1960s M1. Now, these are not the same. I was wondering how to do this video, front and back and looking down. Oh, the cats are crying again now. I'm a martyr for it. I was wondering how to do it, but this isn't going to be about stamps and stuff. It's more of a general look at it, because one of them, the Austrian helmet, I have definitely seen on eBay advertised as D-Day World War II with some spurious graffiti on it. And as soon as you say the Austrian helmet, even just for me in front of the camera, yes, you'll know for future reference. So I just want to obviously, it's such a complicated thing. Bear with me while I was getting my notes sorted out. So the United States, Saving Private Ryan, you know what they look like. This is a later one, because in 1958 they made the shell a little bit smaller and they introduced that at the back, a little nape thing. There is a separate liner for those who don't know anything at all about American helmets. So you could use the helmet as a wash bowl, and as some say, cooking pot. I'm not sure about that, would they? Burn all the paint off, wouldn't you? But there you go. There's the liner. This is probably from a British American Air Base in Britain, and you can see the inside. It's like a compressed fibre. The World War II ones, a lot of them are brown, and I think there is some just plain green ones, so it is a bit of a minefield. How do I know this one's a Dana Parish? See where I've circled it and chalked it. And I got this really cheaply before, a few years ago. I didn't pay 50 quid for it, I don't think. So they are more than likely worth more than that. So how did I know, considering I don't know anything about M1s really, if this is, excuse me, this is my only one. It's just the way that liner sat in there, and I thought, that's been in there for ages. So I got lucky, but there's your M1, which we'll try and use for comparison against some of the Euro clones. Now, take a drink. Terrible being me, talking all the time. Right, the reason it's complicated is, if you think about it, the M1 helmet, it's a famous helmet. It's a well-made helmet. I find the double liner system, I think the Germans perfected it with the M62, that's just my opinion. So it's being used throughout the world. Very popular helmet. So if you imagine all these countries, some used original American M1s, some bought from the Americans, some bought from West Germany, used their models, some made their own. So if you've got the likes of eBay, or you don't know 100%, you don't know what it is. I mean, some of the countries obviously further away, so they're probably not going to be on eBay in Britain, but you get the gist. So, glasses time. And then, once I've read this out, we'll get to the helmets. I put my Donald Pleasance glasses on. Right. So, the M1 helmet, or derivatives of the current users, China for ceremonial purposes, Colombia for ceremonial police and army ceremonies, Dominican Republic honour guards, India, Iran used West German made helmets and they're still being used, reports of. Guatemala, Japan still being used in non-combat roles, Panama, Philippines for training, South Korea, Turkey ceremonial purposes, Uruguay still reports of it being used, and Vietnam still getting some use. Now I got obviously I've gone online to get these little snippets of information. I have got a Brendan's helmet, great website, but that wasn't complete. So I went through a few of the little avenues, and so I've got a few different sources for these. So if I've missed any, feel free to say, Stan, you've missed them. Anyway, so for me users, buckle up. It's going to be a long ride. For me users: Argentina, Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Bolivia, Canada, Chile, Costa Rica, Croatia, Cuba, Denmark, Ecuador, El Salvador, Greece, Haiti, Honduras, Indonesia, Israel used the West German version, Lebanon, Liberia, Luxembourg, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Netherlands, Nicaragua, Nigeria, Norway, Paraguay, Peru, Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Spain, South Vietnam and Taiwan, USA, Venezuela, West Germany versions of. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, so like the more obvious ones, most of I'm not sure if all NATO countries, well we did in Britain, but a lot of NATO countries adopted the M1 style helmet. So this is a bit, I don't think I actually said that in the users. Let's have a look. I didn't do that. I don't think I said France. No, I didn't. So we'll start with an easy one, which probably won't get you confused. And this is the French M51 Autan. So if you hold this up against the M1 Americano, it is influenced by it, but the French one has there's the back there. The back's not where my hand is. You can see it's like a more flared at the back. So it's just in case you know nothing about helmets at all. I don't want to get this one out because the line is shot to pieces and I've gaffer taped it within an inch of its life. I've got a couple of these. I've got a police one. They're quite nice to have. Date inside 1953. M51 Autan from 1952, 1960, something along those lines. And a little bit of a fun fact for you, if you're ever watching the film A Bridge Too Far, I think it's towards the end, Ryan O'Neill's with the other officers. For some reason, he's got one of these on. It is on the Internet Movie Database if you want to check that fun fact out, but why they did that. So, the next one up, we will go for the one that I said. I definitely have seen this on eBay. So, let's have a look. This is the Austrian M1 copy, M58. I can put my notes here. Sorry, viewerages. M58 Stahlhelm. It's called its official name, Stahlhelm 2 M58. There you go. And its liner and chin strap are similar to the West German layout, and there should be a HBA stamp inside. A HBA in the Austrian Army stands for Heeresbegleitungsanstalt, Army Clothing Institute, and this was used until the 90s. There's the liner. That was the dead giveaway. I've seen it more than once on eBay where someone's advertising this as a World War II or Vietnam era American helmet, and you can see straight away it's not, unless you don't know, I suppose. I'm sure. Yeah. You see the stamps in there. This is a 1968 date, this helmet. But if you look closely, I think it's there. So look, you might not be able to see that. There's a HBA stamp in there. and we'll offer it up against the. It's a lot taller. You can see that doesn't have the same profile. Or if that was on a dealer's bench desk, would you know the difference? Another thing to note about a lot of these M1, the American M1s, seem to get stress cracks at the back. You see them. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any stamps on this one that I can see. But there's the liner, see. And as I've known from the past, a lot of these liners are interchangeable, like they'll probably fit in. So someone could put spurious markings on it and then bang another liner in, maybe a Belgian one, and say, oh hey, look, it's a World War II one. And even, I mean, these things here, 30, 40 quid, you know, military surplus still. But if someone advertises it as something or not, you know, you're probably going to make hundreds of pounds, you know, but you might pay 60 quid, 80 quid, you might pay twice as much for something that's not, that you can pick up from. A lot of the dealers are still selling these again as military surplus, whatever you want it for, reenact. You could I don't know, fancy dress, whatever. That's all they're really good for. Or zombie apocalypses. Right, so that's the Austrian one over there. Right, we'll do the Belgian one. So the Belgian one, Belgian M51, produced until 1976, but it went on in the Belgian army till the 90s. I've got a couple of these. I quite like these actually. They're not a bad looking helmet. And against the American M1, profile, the head on is very similar. Very similar. In fact, the profile is, I'm sure, well, we'll get that in a minute. History Secrets, a guy called History Secrets, Dutch reenactor, and he got one of these in blue and turned it, in inverted commas, into a American M1 helmet, and I did something similar. So we'll look in this. So the markings in here, I'm sure it's around the rim somewhere. I suppose I should have my glasses on. See, I had to do this one outside this video because of space. You know, I had to bring all these helmets from upstairs out my shed. Right, pain. But I only do it for the love of militaria. I can't find the stamps. I thought they were on here somewhere. Unrehearsed. Right, you'll have to wait, you'll have to do without. So there's the shell, empty shell, with a little Belgian flag on the other side, which I do like a lot. And the inner liner, and that's got a Belgian flag on. So sometimes you do see them without that, but that little oblong recess, slightly recessed, is for the Belgian version. Liner inside, very similar. And this liner, I mean, I got that off from a surplus store. This liner probably comes from a NATO helmet sprayed blue, which I've got here, which I actually haven't got here because it's green, because it's khaki, because I tried to turn that into a, again, World War II looking American helmet. This is in the early days when I didn't have that many helmets, and I really wish I'd left it as it was, because now there you go, there's the VI, is it V? There's a stamp there. You won't see that on American helmets. I don't think it's in there if you can see it. It's I don't know how to do videos sometimes, pointing down, or I suppose you learn to edit stamp. I know, leave me alone. Right, we'll have a little look. Look at the liner. Right, and we're finished with liners for the day. So this was like a khaki brown, but it was a NATO blue. I wish I'd left it there. I would have had an example of each. And this doesn't have the little recess in, strangely. I've never noticed that. I'll tell you what though, I may have swapped it round. I can't remember. But there's the liner anyway. So you can see how people will get confused. The Belgian one seems to be the most like the American M1. Now, finally, he says, drinking again. the West Germans. So West Germans used American World War II M1 helmets after the war. As well as, I know there was other, the BSG, the border guards used German helmets. I'm not going into that one. The Bundeswehr, when they were formed, they used American M1 helmets. And very quickly, they started making their own versions of it. And in 1960, with the M60, or maybe just before, they came out with their own redesigned version. And that is this one here. I think, yeah, right. So this is a West German M60 helmet. See, front on fairly similar, sideways, not a lot in it. The difference with this is it doesn't have a separate liner, and that's just steel, and it's a cradle, not unlike the World War II helmet. It's very similar with German World War II helmet with the fingers going inside, and that's an M60. These are harder to find than the M62. I'm glad I've got this one, and I think I've got two M60s, three M62s, M62 mod vacation, and a paratroop helmet now. So I've got a few West German ones. I do like them a lot. So there you go, one more little look at it. So then the Germans, rather quick years later, designed the M62, which lasted till the 90s. This was the last, actually no, this wasn't the last M62 mod. No, I haven't brought that down, we're carrying loads of helmets, but M62 mod has got the like the 3-point chin harness, which you've seen in a previous video. But this is the M62, and the main difference is it's got like a removable liner system doofer, and that is definitely more like the German World War II liner. And offer it up, very similar. There's not a lot in that, is there? And if you want my opinion, it's my channel, I have my opinion. The M62 is the ultimate version of the M1, because I don't like that liner system thing about it. I don't. It's not I think it was clumsy running around that, bouncing all over your head. But yeah, that's just my opinion. So I hope that's been of some interest and maybe some use to you. Again, it's probably aimed more at eBay purchases, really. And you do see. I haven't seen the French one dressed up as an American M1 helmet, but I've seen the rest. I've seen the rest of them. And again, if you're parting with what you think's World War II or even a Vietnam era helmet, and you're paying £100 for something that's a military surplus, well, you don't want to get stiffed, do you? You know. So we'll just go through it one more time. America, 1960s, Vietnam era helmet. Here come the Belgians. There they are, Belgian M1, M51. Austrian. Stahlhelm 2, M58. Liner. And don't forget the French M51, all tan. Nice helmet to have. Again, probably still military surplus. And the Germans, M60 and M62. So, that's enough of me jibber jabbering on. I have to go and put all these helmets back now and get out of this West German get-up. So, that's been nearly 19 minutes of me talking. Oh well, you're not doing anything else on a Saturday afternoon, are you? So this is Stan from Stanley Junction, and I will, of course, see you.